This is Rogue Lantern, a game where you explore your haunted basement and fight off demons and their minions. Since the last update, I added a system that generates a new haunted dungeon every time you play, and a combat system where you fight by throwing tarot cards. So let me show you what has changed, plus the first piece of original music for my game. First, let me update you on the story concept. Our protagonist Agatha is no longer alone. She's now accompanied by Monty, a ghost that inhabits her lantern. Together they form a bickering duo that keeps each other company. On top of that, the 7 major bosses in the game will be based on the 7 deadly sins. The first one you'll encounter is the Vampire Queen, who represents pride. As for development, let's talk about the dungeon generator first. The goal here was to create a system that generates a new dungeon layout every time the game starts, so exploration stays fresh and I don't have to manually build tons of maps. I wanted the generator to follow a few clear rules. Always start with a specific starting room, so players have a familiar anchor. Arrange all the other rooms in a connected graph, avoiding weird isolated spaces. And finally, place doors to logically connect everything together. That was the plan, and then came the fun part, breaking it down into small, achievable steps. The first building block was creating room prefabs. Each prefab contains a grid layout, a script that stores important data, decorations, interactable objects, and of course potential door locations. This makes the whole system modular. If I want to expand it later, I can simply add more rooms without rewriting the generator. The first feature of the generator was loading the starting room. Simple enough, but a great way to make sure the system was actually firing correctly. Step 2 was creating a list of rooms for the dungeon. At first, this resulted in a very basic linear layout, one room after another until you hit a dead end. So for step 3, I improved the logic. The generator now places all rooms that are not dead ends first, and only afterwards sprinkles in the dead end rooms randomly. This makes the dungeon feel much less predictable and gives it a more organic shape. Every run now results in a slightly different map. There will be probably more tweaks in the future, but for now the system does exactly what I needed to do. To add some extra polish, I also implemented a few smaller features. There's now a short fade in and fade out when switching rooms, which makes transitions feel much smoother. I also added camera bounce, so the level feel enclosed instead of endless. These might seem like small details, but they have a huge impact on the overall atmosphere. Finally, I created a few new rooms, including a basic ritual chamber and a small storage room. I also added a foreground layer here, which I really like and will definitely use more going forward. The second major update is the foundation of the combat system. The Vampire Queen has sent out her bats to get Agatha's blood, so she has to defend herself. As already teased in my last short, Agatha fights by throwing tarot cards. Some simply deal damage, while others are magically charged with her spiritual energy. I started by implementing the basic throwing mechanic. Right mouse button to aim, left click to throw. For now, a simple white line helps with aiming. Next, I created scriptable objects for the cards to store their core values. To actually use them, I added one component that manages Agatha's card deck and another one that displays the currently active card in the UI. You can cycle through the cards by using the W and the S key. With that in place, we now have a solid foundation. Whenever a card hits an object tagged as enemy, it gets destroyed. Of course, there's still a lot of refinement left to do. One of the next steps will be redesigning Agatha so throwing cards feels natural and comfortable. I'm thinking about holsters to hold her cards, and maybe a shirt or loose jacket to give her arms more freedom of movement. And starting now, you're hearing the very first track composed for Rogue Lantern. The music was written by Marcy, a young and incredibly talented composer I met through the Woman Plus in Magic Discord server. Her track really captured the eerie feeling I want the game to have, and hearing it in-game for the first time was honestly a pretty magical moment for me. If you want to check out her other work, I link her SoundCloud page below in the description. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this devlog, consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I see you in the next one.